This is IFV, the web space with your dose of business and financial news. In full view, we're making your business our business.
Welcome to In Full View. I'm Marcella Palmer. We're bringing you the week's medium and small business news. This week, we pick the brain of Jake Sigal, founder and CEO of Livio Radio. More on that in a moment. First, here's Jean Lee with the week's market advancers and decliners.
Investors were bullish on NightHawk Radiology, sending shares up a whopping 95% after news that Virtual Radiologic plans to acquire the company for about $170 million. In response, several law firms representing NightHawk shareholders have launched probes into the acquisition, pricing, and possible fiduciary violations. Keithley Instruments calibrated well with Wall Street, gaining more than 79%. The maker of precision electronic testing and measuring equipment will be acquired by Danaher Corporation for about $300 million. Shareholders in Green Mountain Coffee Roasters saw red, sending shares down more than 18% on news that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission announced a probe into the coffee company's methods of recording sales figures and its relationship with a vendor. And shares of Dynavox sank more than 36%. The maker of education software warned that it would disappoint Wall Street with its fiscal first quarter results. Dynavox also withdrew its forecast for full-year earnings.
In 2008, Jake Sigal took his love of radio, engineering know-how, and entrepreneurial spirit and created Livio Radio. His retro-looking device gives internet radio listeners a way to enjoy talk and music over the web without being tied to their computer.
Well, I got started in my guest bedroom, and I had an idea of making internet radio accessible and easy to use for anybody, whether it's grandkids or grandparents. And I got started with a $10,000 loan from my dad and quit my job and just kind of made it happen. Started developing products, getting prototypes, and before I knew it, I signed some big deals and got into production.
And how long ago was this, and where were you working before? Were you in the same line of work before?
Yes, I started the company 2.5 years ago in January of 2008. Before then, I've worked at a variety of CE companies. I worked for Delphi as a product manager for XM satellite radio. Prior to that, I worked at Ion Audio, where I invented the USB turntable, which was a big hit, allowed you to convert vinyl to CD. And I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I come from 2 generations of entrepreneurs, and this is just something I've always wanted to do, and finally felt it was the right time to make the move.
Something that not everybody can do is just to pick up and say, hey, I want to do this myself. What did you see in the other companies that you were working for that you wanted to change or you wanted to do differently, or maybe you thought you could do a little bit better? Well,
I think the big thing is treating people the way they wanted to be treated. Now, not that anybody treated anybody bad, but I know what it's like being a consumer on the other end of the line, and this is the reason why we have USA-based customer support in Detroit, Michigan. This is why we'll tech support people's home wireless internet. So our goal is to get people's products up and working, not to tell them, sorry, that's not our problem, go call somebody else. A couple other things is the work-life balance. Like, we have a very passionate crew about music. Music is what we're passionate about. We just happen to make great radios. And that passion bleeds into our products. And we're creating an institution of people that care about music.
Can you tell us anything more on the finance side? Can you tell us if you've got rounds of funding, who your backers are, if you can go into that detail, yes, and how much you're looking to make this coming year, how much you've made in the last year?
Well, what I can tell you is we started off the bootstrap way, where it was scrapping, trying to get my cell phone bill paid every single month, and got to a point where I maxed out the credit cards and borrowed what I could, then got some angel investors coming in. After the angel rounds, I closed a venture capital deal with a local firm called Berengia. In Michigan, there was a fund called the Invest Michigan Fund, which came in. We had a lot of help from the Consumers Electronics Association, which pushed on the CES show, from the Small Business Council helping us get some introductions made. And really it was this cycle. It wasn't like a switch. It wasn't about getting lucky. It was about being persistent and following the product. So actually developing a product, then taking that product, bringing it to market, then continuing the investment as we were growing sales.
And tell us a little bit about your product. I mean, it's a physical radio, or is it something, like AOL radio or some of the other internet radio systems that we see out there?
Well, we sell physical hardware. So we have 2 desktop radios for the home. They're about the size of a toaster. And it is great because it lets you put internet radio, Pandora, and NPR, and Pandora being the best music service, NPR, the best news service anywhere in your home. In addition to the home units, we also have a little player for your car. So you can, like a DVR or a TiVo for radio, you can bring recorded internet radio from your computer into your car without having to install software or pay any fees. And we have a great application on the iTunes store called Livio Car Internet Radio, which is free to download.
And who are your biggest competitors to date?
Well, I like to say that we don't have any direct competitors. It's all indirect. I mean, there's some great brands. I mean, everyone makes great internet radios. I haven't seen anything out there that I wouldn't personally own. But really, it's more about what makes us different. We have less features, and it makes it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier to use. And having that brand relationship with Pandora being the best source of music and NPR, which is the gold standard in news, that branding is really what makes our products different. And obviously going into the car, we have that little bit of an edge because we are in Detroit, which is the automotive capital of the world.
And tell us a little bit about price points.
Yeah, I mean, our products range from $200 radios for the home to free software to download in the iTunes store for iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch.
Okay, so strategically, what are your next moves? Where are you going next?
Well, we follow the music. I mean, Livio Radio is about more music and less work. And right now, that's in the home and in the car, and it's done with the hardware that we sell. I think going into the car is a very large area of opportunity for our business, as well as the entire internet radio community, because it's gone from CD to then satellite, now to internet. So that's a big one. But really, we're not focused on a technology. We're focused on what do customers want and how do you deliver solutions for real problems that real people, which are our customers, have.
That's all for this week from the IFV News team. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to check back every day right here at ifvnews.com for the latest on what's happening around the globe in the medium and small business world.